The counting for the Iran presidential polls is officially over, and it is to be a runoff poll between reformist Masoud Pezeshkian against his hardliner contender Saeed Jalili on the 5th of July. As per the Interior Ministry, 24.5 million votes have been counted. Pezeshkian is leading with the highest votes at 10.4 million. Following the lead is Jalili with 9.47 million votes. Now, the voter turnout was 43%. However, the number for both candidates are below the required 50% mark, which necessitates the runoff polls. The Guardian Council is expected to endorse these results by Sunday. The runoff vote between Pezeshkian and Jalili will also be officially announced tomorrow.
Today we have the schedule for the election, the presidential election. According to the schedule, according to the result, it's going to the next Friday. We have the second round of the presidential election, and according to the schedule, we are ready to make it. After determining the two persons, the first is Pezeshkian, Mr. Pezeshkian, and the second is Mr. Jalili, and these two persons are candidate for the next round.
Now, not much is expected to change for Iran post the results. Both candidates align with the ideologies of the Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, who has held power since 1989. Now, the expectations over little change are also visible in the voter turnout, public discontent, especially among Iran's youth, which has kept voters away in recent elections.
My name is Mohammad Ali Dost and I work in the private sector. I was unsatisfied with the current situation. I was not happy, so I came to vote. I don't expect too much of a change, but I wanted to vote for my favorite candidate. I don't think there would be a big change. I am a student. The cost of education is my challenge as a student, and it has rapidly gone up. Ease of access to higher education is what I expect, which would eventually lead to a better economic situation.
Now, with the war on one side and an escalating confrontation on the other, another major blow is the rising regional tensions. Israel has come down heavily on the Iran-backed Hamas militant group in its war in Gaza. Meanwhile, the Iran-backed Lebanon's Hezbollah are also in a continuous cross-border scuffle with Tel Aviv. While the new president is to be elected, he will have very little control over Iran's backing of these groups, its policy on nuclear program, or relations with the West. These matters are directly dealt with by Khamenei. The only thing that remains is that in the realm of the president are day-to-day government functionalities and the tone of Iran's foreign and domestic policy. Now, here's a look at who these candidates are. The front-runner, Masoud Pezeshkian, is a relative moderate, backed by the pro-reform camp. The spokesperson for Pezeshkian's campaign, Hamideh Zarabadi, spoke to WION's correspondent Anas Malik, who is in Tehran covering the elections. Listen in.
We hope that at the end of this election, we will have good news. I hope that Mr. Pezeshkian will win, and whatever the people's expectations are, he will deliver on them. Our priority is economy and second is foreign policy. The 7-point plan has to be implemented in 5 years' time, which has been there since a while, and the Supreme Leader has endorsed it, and it should be executed. If there are any problems in it, they can always be addressed and amended by the President.
The second runner is Saeed Jalili. He is best known overseas as a former chief nuclear negotiator for 5 years, from 2007. Jalili lost his leg fighting in the Iran-Iraq war in the 1980s and declares himself a pious believer in Iran's system of Islamic government.
میگفتن نه ما میریم یک گفتگو میکنیم توافق میکنیم بلدیم این کارها رو انجام میدهیم همه مشکلات هم حل میشود. دیدید دیگه کلیدم نشون دادن چی شد؟
حسین شعار ماست، جلیلی افتخار ماست.
Well, our correspondent Anas Malik gets us more from Tehran.
4 presidential candidates for the 9th elected president of Iran, and 24.5 million votes were polled in the elections that took place. But despite of having a majority, there is no clear winner under the laws, because the law says that the winner needs to have at least 50% or more votes in order to attain majority or claim victory. That means the first two candidates, or the first two runners, those who have clinched the most number of votes, the first two, they go into the second round, and the second round is all set to be held coming Friday. Masoud Pezeshkian of the Reformist has bagged more than 10 million votes, 10.4 million votes to be precise, whereas Saeed Jalili from the right-wing Conservative Party, who was nowhere in the race, at least not being tipped off by political pundits, he's come out of nowhere and emerged as the face of conservatives. Now what remains to be seen is what the people of Iran will decide next week when they come back and come out to vote. But I spoke to the acting Interior Minister of Iran, Ahmad Wahidi, who is hopeful that there will be a greater voter turnout, and that the government was already anticipating a second round. Therefore, they have already made preparations, and they had already in fact made preparations for a second round. Anas Malik in Tehran, in Iran, for WION, World is One.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.